Africa and Europe may seem distant from each other, but in reality, they are closer than one might think. In fact, they are so close that a bridge could be constructed between them. However, despite this proximity, no one is likely to walk between the two continents anytime soon. The reason for this is quite complex, and it all boils down to the Strait of Gibraltar. This narrow waterway serves as the gateway to the Mediterranean Sea, and it is bordered by Spain and Morocco. Additionally, the British Overseas Territory of Gibraltar also claims territorial waters in the area, with 3 countries staking claim to this vital strait, which connects the Mediterranean countries to the Atlantic Ocean. A bridge between Africa and Europe is not currently feasible. The United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea provides protection to the area, ensuring that foreign vessels can pass through the strait without interference. However, even if a bridge were to be built, there are still obstacles that would need to be overcome. The Rock of Gibraltar, a vast nature reserve and archaeological site that is a popular destination for tourists, including those who want to see the Barbary macaque monkey, is located on the British territory. The status of the territory has recently become more complicated, with Spain still claiming it as their own. Currently, over 34,000 people call the territory home, and most of them speak Spanish. They would prefer to maintain the status quo rather than become part of Spain. The disagreement over Gibraltar continues to be a contentious issue between Spain and Britain. Despite the proximity of Gibraltar to Africa, the complicated status of the region and the presence of the Rock of Gibraltar, a protected nature preserve and archaeological site, would make building a bridge between Europe and Africa difficult. The United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea protects the area and allows for free passage through the strait, but the status of Gibraltar remains a point of contention between Spain and Britain. While negotiations are ongoing to determine the future of the territory, many Gibraltar residents hope to retain the freedom of movement they had prior to Brexit. If a bridge were to be built, Gibraltar would likely serve as the starting point, as it is the closest location between Europe and Africa. While building such a bridge or tunnel is not a new idea, the construction of the channel, which spans the English Channel between the United Kingdom and France, cost over £9 billion and took several decades to complete. At 31 miles long, it remains one of the longest rail tunnels in the world. The construction of the channel, a deep underground tunnel that spans the English Channel, was a costly and intricate project, and thus, it is exclusively used for rail transportation. It can carry freight and passenger trains, as well as a specialized car that can transport road vehicles across the route in a quick 35-minute journey from the UK to France. However, concerns about the ease of travel between the two countries arose from the start. Some editorial cartoons played on fears of the French infiltrating England or the British overrunning Paris. Despite this, the convenience of the tunnel ultimately prevailed. Nowadays, concerns have shifted to the potential use of the Channel Tunnel by migrants to circumvent border security in both countries. Constructing a bridge from Europe to Africa via Gibraltar would be an incredibly complex endeavor that would require the cooperation of all 3 countries involved, which is no small feat, considering the strained diplomatic relations between them. While the UK and Spain have a relatively stable relationship, the issue of Gibraltar still has the potential to cause disagreements. Would they be able to come to an agreement regarding the use of the territory for such a massive construction project, or would the project fail due to numerous obstacles? On the other hand, even if the issue with Gibraltar were resolved, there is still the matter of Morocco to consider. While Morocco has decent relations with both the UK and Spain at present, the legacy of colonialism means that such a significant investment into the country could be viewed with suspicion. Morocco's history is complex, having gained independence from France and Spain in 1956 after years of colonialism. However, constructing a bridge from Europe to Africa presents significant challenges. Unlike the Channel Tunnel, which was facilitated by the Schengen Agreement allowing free movement between EU countries, a bridge would require new border security infrastructure. This would likely be met with opposition given the large influx of people from Africa and the Middle East to Europe in recent years, as many flee political oppression and poverty in their home countries. Moreover, creating a bridge would be a massive undertaking, requiring the cooperation of all 3 countries, each with their own interests and concerns. Diplomatic relations between the UK, Spain, and Gibraltar have been strained due to the territory's status, and Morocco might be wary of such a significant investment from former colonial powers. In short, constructing a bridge between Europe and Africa is a complex and challenging proposition, with numerous political, logistical, and historical obstacles to overcome. There are several factors to consider when contemplating a potential bridge between Europe and Africa, including the complex political issues involved with migration and border security. However, despite these challenges, engineers have long been intrigued by the idea of linking the two continents, with plans dating back to 1979. In fact, as recently as 2021, authorities in the UK and Morocco have discussed the possibility of connecting Gibraltar to Morocco, which would allow Spanish residents access to the crossing by entering the British territory. While a bridge may seem like the most straightforward solution due to the relatively short distance between the two continents, the reality is far more complicated. The Day-in-Cushion Grand Bridge, currently the longest bridge in the world, stretches over 100 miles, but the distance needed to cross the Mediterranean is much shorter. However, this statistic can be misleading as the majority of the Grand Bridge is built on land, with only a 5.6-mile section spanning an open lake. Connecting the bridge to supports in the water, as would be necessary to cross a sea, would be a far greater challenge. A direct crossing from Gibraltar to Tankers would be twice as long and may not be structurally feasible. One solution proposed by architect Eugene Tsui involved constructing an artificial island in the middle of the Mediterranean, but this would be a monumental task. If going over the water is not possible, perhaps going under it is the answer. Many people believe that the success of the Channel Tunnel could be replicated in an Europe-Africa crossing. As a matter of fact, Spain had proposed a tunnel as far back as 1930 but had to abandon the idea due to the incredibly hard material under the Strait of Gibraltar. However, modern tunneling technology could make it possible. In the 2000s, a significant geological study was carried out to determine the easiest and safest route for the tunnel. The study found that although it could be done, it would be a challenging undertaking. The shortest route led to a deep area of the strait that was over 3 feet deep, while another area was longer at over 14 miles but had a depth of only about 900 feet. Fortunately, existing infrastructure could be leveraged. The existing high-speed rail lines in Spain and Morocco could form the basis of the proposed line, with both countries extending their current lines to meet in the middle of the strait. From there, the lines would merge into the new Gibraltar Tunnel, creating a 25-mile-long route that would be constructed over a period of 15 years and descend nearly 1,000 feet under the sea. This depth is slightly greater than the Ryfylke Tunnel, which connects two southern regions in Norway and is 955 feet deep. While train enthusiasts may be thrilled by the idea, the question remains, will it ever become a reality? There are several obstacles to making this project a reality. Firstly, the construction of the tunnel would be incredibly expensive, potentially making it the most costly train tunnel ever built. Additionally, it would require sustained cooperation among three sovereign nations, each with a history of tensions with one another, making any diplomatic issues a potential threat to the project's success and financial viability. Furthermore, since only a few tunnels of this scale have ever been constructed, the project would require close monitoring for any structural issues that could lead to a catastrophic failure. However, the biggest challenge to the project's feasibility may be Morocco's significant tourism industry, which ranks second among all African nations. The potential demand for the Gibraltar-Morocco tunnel remains uncertain as it's unclear whether there would be enough interest to justify the considerable cost and cooperation required from three nations. While Morocco is a popular tourist destination in Africa, it ranks 36th overall for tourist arrivals globally, and already has multiple airports and ferry services. Therefore, the tunnel may not be deemed necessary to handle a surge in tourism, making it an extravagant project with little practical use. However, Tankers, the city where the tunnel would emerge, is experiencing rapid growth and becoming a significant attraction for tourists, which may create demand for the tunnel in the future. Investors in tunnel building technology may want to monitor this potential market. Nonetheless, the global economic situation could affect the project's feasibility, and its realization remains uncertain. Thanks for watching.